Red Ribbon Certified Schools is a program that's all about academic excellence through prevention. It originally started back in 2005 with funding from SAMHSA, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Association from the government, and is now funded in Florida through Department of Children and Families. It's a good housekeeping seal for schools, helping parents and the community recognize schools that are doing a fantastic job in terms of drug prevention. So the overall program's purpose is keeping kids safe, healthy, and drug-free, improving academic performance. It's about engaging parents in the community so that they are able to be more involved in what's happening in their child's school and really do more in terms of working with the PTA and with the substance abuse education providers within the school and create a safe, healthy environment for kids. So also part of the program is about improving awareness and about social norms and how drug and alcohol use is depicted within our society as a whole. We really focus on highlighting the schools that are doing well in terms of prevention, education, and also the parents that are helping to make that happen. The overall objectives for the program in terms of our grant funding is to reduce these three areas. It's reducing the rate of 30-day use, which is the official definition of a current user or drinker. It's about reducing binge drinking and also reducing the age, or I should say really increasing the age at which youth may initiate alcohol. I'm sure we all know about all the studies that show that earlier that they start drinking or smoking or doing drugs, it drastically increases the chances that they will become addicted to those drugs. So reducing these, the rate at which they initiate is really going to be a preventative measure against substance abuse addiction in the future. The overall benefits of why a school would get Red Ribbon certified, first of all, academic performance, again, that's what we're all about. Increasing positive outcomes and reducing negative outcomes like fighting and attrition or truancy within the schools. We really focused on elevating your school above others. When a parent is looking at what school their child should attend, we want them to say, okay, well, that school over there, that middle school is a Red Ribbon certified school, and that's a safer environment for my child, so I'd like to send my child to that school. And of course, we know that funding for schools is tied to school population. So elevating the school above others is another benefit of getting Red Ribbon certified. Getting more parents involved in their child's education is another piece of that. Again, I mentioned the PTSA. So we do a lot to try to work with the PTSA and other community programs within the schools to make sure that parents are really involved. And you will see when we start showing the application that parental involvement is a really large piece of the Red Ribbon Certified Schools program. We also do a lot to recognize the schools that have been certified. We provide a flag for the school to fly with for the term that they're certified, which is 3 years, and that flag has the Red Ribbon Certified Schools logo on it, which you see on the top right-hand side of your slide. We also recognize the schools both in Florida and nationwide, and we also recognize them locally within the city. For instance, in Miami-Dade County and in Orange County, where we do have quite a few schools that are certified, we work with the school board to have a recognition event where the people who are involved in a certification program are held up in front of their peers to show this school is certified, these are the people that were involved in it. You get a beautiful plaque that you can display at your school's main office or in your trophy case. And we also have events like at the the Florida statewide prevention conference. We do a recognition event for the schools that have been certified across the country for that school year as well. So we do PR. We give you lots of great tools that you can get the information about you being certified and be recognized within your school, your area. We encourage you to invite school board members as well as local officials to a ceremony to show your community that you've been certified, and that's when you sort of raise the flag of getting certified. Red Ribbon Certified Schools is for elementary, middle, and high school, as well as charter schools. So there is no limitation. It is for K through 12 in general. The next area is all about the evaluation process. The Red Ribbon Certified School application has 4 main sections, and we will show you an example of the application in a few moments. There are 4 main sections. The first one is on school environment, ATOD policies, and making sure that that information is displayed well throughout the school and parents know about it. The second section is all about use of evidence-based programs. So that is what sort of prevention programs you have in the school. Here in Florida, we have Trust and SAFE, which is all about safe and drug-free schools. So we want to see what sort of programs you have that focus on that. Parent involvement is Section 3. It is the most heavily weighted part of the scoring process, which we'll talk about in the next slide. And then the last area of the application is all about year-round Red Ribbon commitment. Many of you know and already are familiar with the Red Ribbon campaign, and it's the last week of October, the 23rd through the 31st. But we want that Red Ribbon drug prevention message to be year-round and not just focused on in 1 week or 1 month of the entire year. So we're focused on looking at what sort of programs you have that would enable that or would facilitate that. So what are you doing year-round in terms of your drug prevention and Red Ribbon commitment? So that's the last section. That's of the application. The first part in submitting your application is to attend the introduction webinar, which you're doing right now, so check. The second piece is to request a login ID. After this presentation is over, you all will receive an email from me with a link which will allow you to request an ID to apply for to be Red Ribbon certified. So that is the second step. Once you do that, you'll be able to then get into the application system and submit your information. Next piece is to go through the different sections that we talked about before and input your information, and I'll show you the application in a few moments, and then submit the application, which is due by April 15th. The due date is generally April 15th every year. It's tax day. It's a day everybody can remember for one reason or another, whether it's good or bad. And that is when the application is due. The Florida Center for Prevention Research and their reviewers will then review that information between April 15th and May 15th, and then we will announce which schools have been certified for that year. The certification process requires you to assemble a team because we want the school to work with a team to create this protection system for our kids. So that is working with the principal, a teacher, a student within the school, and a liaison, which is generally a prevention counselor within the school, and a parent. And this coalition of people is what we want to make happen in the school so that you can make sure that the main groups are working together to create the right environment. So the application actually requires the signature of each of these people to ensure that the team has been formed. And you'll see that the sections of the application are really geared towards getting the information from the point of view of these 5 people on the team. The last step is in getting certified. So that's getting recognized at the state level. Once your school has been certified, and that's announced in May, you'll receive your flag, and you receive the banner or flag or banner, I should say. You'll get the plaque that you can display at the school, and we work with you to figure out how you would like to do a ceremony that would announce to the world and to your community that your school has been Red Ribbon certified. So we do have a toolkit that we give to you to help to make that happen with some checklists and some things that we recommend that you do. And we also have some templates that you can use for press releases, not to mention the fact that Informed Family sends out our own press releases to, again, announce which schools have been certified for that year. You'll also receive the Red Ribbon Schools logo, which you can then put on your school website as well as on your school letterhead, again, signifying to the community that you are Red Ribbon certified. So let's talk about the review process. Once your application is completed and submitted online, that information is sent to the Center for Prevention Research, as I mentioned. Your application will be reviewed by a panel of experts in prevention, education, and research. And we've been working with the same group of experts for about 4 years now, 3 to 4 years now, on reviewing the schools. And they do remarkably well and really look at the schools from a varying points of view and provide really great feedback as to how you can improve if, in fact, your school is not certified. It is important to note that not every school that applies does receive certification, but I will also tell you that the reason that most schools do not receive certification is because they do not do a good enough job of really bragging about what they're doing. elaborating about what they're doing in terms of the 4 sections of the application. So I do encourage you, one-line answers is not really going to help you to get this right scoring that you need for the application. So this is your opportunity to really talk about what's happening in your school and to make us visualize and see that. In submitting your application, you will have an opportunity to submit backup documents, like, for instance, scan in photos or newsletters or flyers about events that you're doing or things that you're doing, information that you have within your school to sort of back up what you're saying in the application itself. So you will have that opportunity. If you have any videos of events that you've done, you can provide the link to the YouTube video so that the reviewers can see them as well. So that is a really good way to make sure that, you know, we're able to really visualize and understand what's happening. Scoring for your application is pretty simple. The maximum score is 100 points. Section 1, 2, and 4 are worth 20 points. And Section 3, which is on parent engagement, is worth 30 points. As I mentioned before, parental engagement is the most important part of the Red Ribbon Certified Schools application. We really want to make sure that parents are involved in their child's education, because those kids are the ones that do the best in school. So that's why that area is weighted the highest. Section 4 is worth 10 points. And I'm sorry, the last section, which is the signature page, that shows the team of the application. That is worth 10 points in itself. So submitting the signatures of your application team is worth 10 points on the application. That's another way that we want to ensure that the team was utilized to complete your Red Ribbon Certified Schools application. You need a minimum of 80 points to become certified. And we have had schools that have scored 100 points on the application process. So it is not impossible to do that. This is when you log into the Red Ribbon Certified Schools application. This is what you'll see, and this is really a good system to work with, and it's simple to use. And we're always here to help you out with any questions that you'll have. You'll see contact information on the left-hand side here for the Center for Prevention Research, which is who helped us to set this up. So first thing I want to show you is that when you get sent the link to request an application ID, you'll be filling out this information here about your school and to create your account. So it's just simple contact information about your principal, your address, and all of that, and you submit that. When you come back, you have the 4 sections of the application here. School environment is the first section. And the way to answer the questions on the application, here's question number 1A. The school has a highly visible and effective ATOD policy that involves school staff, parents, and teachers that is evident throughout the entire campus. So you can say, no, we don't have one, yes, we do have one, or not applicable. I will tell you that if you say no or not applicable, you should type an explanation here to make sure that we clearly understand why you said no, you don't. But I will also say that in the very few instances that we've had someone say no, you don't have one, after some conversation, they realize that there is one. That perhaps there is a district one that is done by the overall school district, and maybe that is posted on the school district website or is distributed to teachers. So be careful and really do some research if you're thinking no, you have a no answer for these questions. Most of these questions you're going to have a yes. And definitely when you put a yes, you want to elaborate in this window. You want to type as much as you can in terms of information. Of course, we're not looking for a dissertation, but you want to elaborate on what's happening in your school. If you have any questions about the question itself or anything in particular in the application, every single question has this question mark icon next to it. Once you click on it, a little window will come up and it'll have your contact information already here. It'll have what the question number is and the text for the question already visible. All you need to do is to type in this area what your question is, and then hit send. That information will automatically come to myself and also to Dr. Waters at the Center for Prevention Research. And we will get back to you with a response within 24 hours via email. Again, if you should need to speak with us immediately, there is the contact information on the left-hand side of your login screen. You go back to main page, that information is down here. So you can answer these sections in any particular order, and you can answer the questions in any particular order. The most important thing is that you answer every question. Every question has a yes, no, filled in, and that you elaborate in this area for putting in your text in every single question. Again, we have the 4 sections. After you complete the last section, section number 4, this area for the signature page will become visible. You can then click on that link. Once you click on the link to submit your signature page, you are in fact submitting your application. So the Center for Prevention Researchers and the reviewers are not reviewing any of your application until you press the submit button, so don't worry about it. But if you should have any questions or need any help in terms of answering questions, it is always best that you have already filled in information, and then I can log in into and see what you have put in and help you to finesse or finalize your answer. So the more information that you fill in these areas and the earlier you do it is the better assistance you can get from us. That is the benefit of having this process completely electronic. I mentioned that you'd be able to make attachments to your application. On your main page here is where you can upload a document. And the process is simple. You just type the title of your document, you give a brief description of what it is, and you browse for the file on your computer here and attach it. And you let us know what section and what question this is for. And then you upload the document. It's then attached to your application, and you will be able to see your list of documents right here. And we will be able to see what documents you have also uploaded. So again, if you have any questions about it, then we can work with you, because then we can actually see it as well. There is a limitation of uploading 2 documents per section, and 10, I think it's, no, I'm sorry, I think it's a 5 megs of information per document that you've uploaded as well. Let me just do a quick check back to see if there's any questions. Okay, no, all right. So that is the main section. That's the main thing about the application process. So you have your 4 sections that you can complete. You can complete them in any order. The idea is that they are completed by April 15th. And you can start working on your application as soon as you get your application login ID. If you can work on it and complete it by December, that's great. You can do that. But it will not be reviewed until May. Do not, I'm sorry, and until after April 15th. I will implore you to not wait until the last moment to complete your application. Every year we have schools that do that. They wait, and then here in Florida we have what's called the FCAT, the aptitude test. That gets in the way. Then it's prom, and then it's graduation, and then the time runs away. So what we've done is we've created sort of a schedule to help you get through that, which I'll cover in just a few moments. The last thing I want to show you on the application section is that we have a set of tutorials that you can use to help you with the application. And you can access those tutorials by clicking Training and Tutorials. And here you see a whole list of them. So this first one is all about using the application itself. Then you have this one is all about the overall process of using this system. Then you have a tutorial about how to request a previous application if you were an applicant from last year or previous year that maybe did not get certified and you want to resubmit your application. You can request what you submitted before. It'll be sent to you via email, and then you can use that as a base. Now, even if you are using that, obviously you didn't get certified with that application, so you want to be careful about what you're putting in there. But again, we're here to help you to get through that and help you to talk about what comments the reviewers had and what you need to change. Here's a tutorial about uploading your documents, and then a tutorial on completing each of these sections. When you click on any of these are all video tutorials that will display immediately and use controls sort of like a VCR or a CD player or DVD player.
Thank you for joining us for the Rutherford Certified Schools tutorial on application section.
So it starts to play immediately, and you can follow along with the cursor, and the page will move, it'll scroll.
What should it be expected in terms of your responses for the school environment section of the application?
So these are available to you at any time for you to use. So if you've missed the live webinar that we do to talk about the different sections of the tutorials, the different section of the application, then you can always use these tutorials whenever you have the moment to do so. They're available 24/7. if your school does not get certified, we immediately, when we make that notification about not getting certified, we also invite you to set up a conference call with us or meeting, depending on where you are located, around June or July, so that we can talk with you about the different sections of your application, what you received in terms of your score on each section, and what you may want to do differently when you reapply in the fall. And you are encouraged to reapply directly in the very next cycle of Red Ribbon certification. The top 5 things of tips on getting certified. First of all, work as a team. You do not have to complete the application by yourself. That is what the team is for. So when you're working on the section on, for instance, parental involvement, you have a parent on your application team. So that person is a person that you can work with to go through that section, because again, it is kind of from their point of view. It asks what opportunities do parents have to get involved in the school? Is there a PTSA or ESAC there? How are parents notified about their child's performance? Is it once a year? Is it year round? Are they notified only when there's a problem, or do they also notified when there is something really great that happened with their child? So that is working as a team is really important. Of course, it helps to divide the work. So you want to utilize the people on your team when it comes to the appropriate section. You want to organize yourself, create a folder of information. As you sit down initially with your group of people who are on this team, you're probably brainstorming and figuring out, oh, we need these events, and we have this newsletter, and we have that posting. Create a folder. You can put all of that stuff in. That way you can organize it for when you're actually submitting the application, and you can quickly find the documents that you want to scan and attach to your application. You want to elaborate as much as possible and provide examples wherever you can in the application itself. That is really going to be a big piece of helping you to get certified. You want to start the application early, and when I say early, I mean like October. And you want to sort of parse out the time so that you're doing a new section every 2 months, so you're giving yourself 2 months to complete one whole section. And you want to ask for help as much as you can. We are here to help you. You can contact us by email at info@Red Ribbon Schools. Plus, you have the information on the application database itself, where you can call us up and email us from there as well. Here's an example of the timeline that we recommend you use. So you're completing section 1 in September and October. Then you're moving to section 2 in November, December. Then January, February, section 3, and then March, April is section 4. You break it up like that, you're not overwhelmed, and especially if you're working as a team, the main person, the liaison, would basically go to the person on their team that is focused on that section, and then you'd work together on completing that section. Because the database is completely online, you can access it 24 hours a day. So there's no limitation of doing it during work hours or in the evening. It's whenever you have the time to be able to go through it. Monthly webinars on completing the application section will be held. We have a live webinar, so we have October, December, February, and March, which is basically coinciding with the timeline that I showed you on the previous slides. But if for any reason, if you cannot attend those live webinars, or you want to complete your application section sooner, you can use the tutorials that I demonstrated to you that are on the application database. Overall, it's important to note that the application is a teaching and training tool to utilize the best prevention resource, and that is the team. The school, the principal, the parents, the prevention educator, they all know what's happening and how to work well together as a community within the school. In being a team leader, what's important? You're representing your school in the community. So again, that's why this application process allows you to brag about yourself, to talk about what's happening, and really represent your school and your community to get your school certified. That's your whole goal here. Get certified and stay certified within those 3 years, and then redo it again 3 years after that. This is a 3-year cycle for certification. You want to collect the information, you want to complete the sections as assigned, let people know when they're on the team as soon as possible, and really get them excited about what this really means for their school. You want to keep the momentum with your team. You can have regular meetings. Some schools like to have a meeting like maybe once every 2 months, or once a month with the application team. Some just meet with the appropriate person for that particular section. You work it the way that's best for your school and your community. But the important thing is that you work as a team and you move through the application sections time so that you're not overwhelmed at the end. You want to create a contact list with the information on your team members, and you definitely want to keep the principal involved and engaged in what's happening in the process, because out of sight, out of mind. You know, we're all extremely busy. The principal may assign someone in the beginning to work through this, and then they forget all about it by the time January and February comes around. So if you can just debrief the principal once a month about what's happening with the application process, if you're having any problems getting information, or if someone on your team is not responsive, then you're giving them an opportunity to fix the problem before it gets bigger. Red Ribbon certification occurs every 3 years, as I mentioned that. So if you're certified for 2013, that will end in 2016. We do have a process where you submit a goal per section of the application. So that would be 4 goals that, because we have 4 sections, and those goals would be tracked annually to see if you've been able to complete those goals. Don't panic. The goals are going to be very in line with what Prevention Council would have been doing anyway, or what PTSAs would have been doing anyway. We just want to make sure that there's some good definition around it. So if you, for instance, say for section 3 on parental involvement, if you say that I want to increase the size of our PTSA, okay, that's a great goal, but what is the objective there? So you want to increase the size of the PTSA from 10 people this year to 40 people next year. That is something that you can easily measure and track, and something that you probably would have been working on already. The reason why this is important is because when it's time for you to become recertified in 3 years, you have a document of what you've been doing that you can then go back to and easily be able to talk about. And this is just a simple Word document, and after you get certified, we send you this information and talk with you about it and show you how to use it. In summary, for the overall process, the benefits of the program: positive outcomes for your kids and your community, better academic performance, more parental engagement, elevating your school above others. The overall process steps are to attend this webinar, then respond to my email about requesting an application ID. And that's just collecting your contact information, school name, and all of that. If you're outside of Florida, there is an application fee of $150 to apply for Red Ribbon certified schools. The reason is because the school is funded the program is funded here in Florida. So the schools outside of Florida, we do have to collect a small fee in order to do that. But you do get a lot for that fee. You get our assistance on the application. You get the recognition of being Red Ribbon certified. You get a beautiful flag and plaque that you'll be able to display at your school to show that you're part of this wonderful program. And it is something that's really worthwhile. You want to figure out who you want on the application team and assign people so that it's official that they're on the team, and let them know what their responsibilities are for the application. And then you go through the process in the timeline we recommended, and you submit the final information online. If you'd like to see an example of the application, I'm just going to quickly go to the Red Ribbon Certified Schools website, and on this page, there is a link that allows you to see the application form. So now you're looking at a PDF version of the application, and you can go through, oops, I'm going too far. You can go through the different sections, and you can see what the questions are for each of the different sections. So when you're talking with your application team, you can either log into the database directly and look at it, or before you actually make the commitment to apply, you can check out this form and see what the questions are. So again, that is on the Red Ribbon Certified Schools website, and that is on the page for certification process. So if you go to the main menu and click on the link for certification process right here, you'll be able to see this page, and the application form link is there. There's also some great information about getting certified on this website. Again, we talk about the certification process. We're still on the same page about the certification process. There is a link for certification tips. So that the top 5 ways to get certified that I mentioned earlier are right here. We also have some really great videos that were created about how you begin the process and how do you go through each of the different sections that you can watch as a helpful tool in terms of how you answer the questions again, and what focus you should really have. We also like highlighting the schools that have gotten certified, so we put information on news here at the top of the page. So as you have different things happening in your school, we do encourage you to let us know so that we can post it on the site and let everybody else know what's happening at your school and recognize your school. Well, if you do think of any questions, you can send us an email at info@redribbonschools.org. Thank you for joining us and have a wonderful week.